Okay. So we're going to read Katie Belle's picked Dogger by Shirley Hughes, one of my favorite authors. Okay, let me get the book set up.
I don't think Mommy's in here.
You don't think Mommy's in there?
Yeah, she's not in here.
That's okay. She can come if she wants to, or she can stay out there if she wants to. This is a book I got used at a used book sale after a library got rid of it. And I was so happy to find it because when your mommy was a little girl, I used to check this one out from the library, and I would read it to her and to Uncle Jonathan and to Uncle Grant. It was one of our favorite books. So I'm so happy that I was able to find my own. Isn't that great?
I think that's going to be my favorite book.
You think? Well, I have lots of favorite books. It would be hard for me to decide. Do you have lots of favorite books too?
I got a lot of Carl books.
A lot of what?
A lot of Carl books.
Oh, I gave you some of those Carl books when you were just a little bitty girl before you can read, and now you can read. Soon you'll be able to read books like this all by yourself.
I'm reading now.
Oh, I know. I'm so excited.
I'm reading little books.
I know. I got to see you read on a video one time, remember? Okay, so when we read this story, the little boy in the story has a problem. Have you ever noticed in stories there's always somebody with a problem?
No.
Yeah, lots of times. In fact, you can't really have a story if there's not a problem, because usually a story is about solving a problem. So whenever you read a story, you can say, I wonder what the problem is going to be. Okay? So let's see if we can tell what the problem is. This little boy in the story is named Dave, and Dave is going to get a problem. So let's see if we can figure out what it is. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So this is Dogger by Shirley Hughes. And looks like this book actually came from the city of Albuquerque and the library system. You know where Albuquerque is? It's in New Mexico. It's a long ways away from here. I wonder how it ended up in my used bookstore. Okay, are you ready? Once there was a soft brown toy called Dogger. One of his ears pointed upwards and the other flopped over. His fur was worn in places because he was quite old. He belonged to Dave. He's very cute, don't you think?
I want a doggy like that.
You do?
A stuffed animal one that can talk.
Oh. Well, I will look for you one, okay?
Okay.
Dave was very fond of Dogger. He took him everywhere. Sometimes he gave him rides in a wagon. Sometimes he pulled him along on a leash made of string like a real dog. When it was cold, he wrapped him up in a bit of blanket. Do you ever do that with your stuffed animals? Now and again, Dave's mom said that Dogger was getting much too dirty. She showed Dave how to wash him in a bowl of soapy water. Then they hung him up by his tail on the clothesline to dry.
Okay.
Sometimes people have clotheslines that they hang clothes up on instead of putting them in a dryer. When I was a little girl, we had a clothesline for a while. And when your mommy and Uncle Jonathan and Uncle Grant were little, we had a clothesline then too, some of the time.
Oh.
Dave's baby brother Joe liked hard toys. He liked putting them in his mouth and biting on them because he was getting teeth. I think he's a cute little baby. What do you think? Oh, now look here. This kind of reminds me of you, Katie Belle. What's all in that bed? Do you see what that is?
Toys.
What kind of toys?
Stuffed animals.
Stuffed animals. You do that, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Dave's big sister Bella. Oh, that's Dave's big sister Bella. Her name is Bella, just like your dog. Dave's big sister Bella took 7 teddies to bed with her every night. She had to sleep right up against the wall to stop herself from falling out. But Dave liked only Dogger. I think you're more like Bella, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
You like to have lots of animals in your bed.
And I got a favorite animal.
You do?
It's the little Christmas ornament, and its name is Chicky, and it rattles, and it's a beanie baby.
Oh, well, I want to see that when we're done with our story, okay?
Okay, it's somewhere, but I don't know where it is.
Okay.
Maybe if we find it, someday, and you call us, and it's somewhere where I know where it is, we can find it.
Okay. One afternoon, Dave and Mom set out to collect Bella from school. Mom took Joe in the stroller and Dave took Dogger. Next to the school gate where the moms waited was a playground. Some men with ladders were putting up colored flags. Mom said there was going to be a summer fair to get money to buy things for the school.
Okay.
Dave pushed Dogger up against the railings to show him what was going on. See how he's holding Dogger up there?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Just then, the children started to come out of school. An ice cream van came around the corner playing a tune. Bella ran up with her satchel flying. Mom, can we have an ice cream? Mom gave her the money for 2 cones. Joe didn't have a whole ice cream to himself because he was too dribbly. On the way, huh?
What does dribbly mean?
Well, he probably would get it all over himself.
Oh.
On the way home, Dave walked beside the stroller, giving Joe licks off his ice cream. Joe kicked his feet about and shouted for more in between licks. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
At supper, Dave was rather quiet. In the bath, he was even quieter. At bedtime, he said, I want Dogger. But Dogger was nowhere to be found. Mom looked under the bed. She looked behind the cupboard. She searched in the kitchen and underneath the stairs. Dave watched anxiously through the banisters. Joe watched through the bars of his crib. Uh-oh, I think we have a problem here, Katie Belle. What is it?
That they can't find Dogger.
That's right. Do you think they'll be able to find him?
I'm not sure.
Bella joined in to look for Dogger. She turned out her own toy box in case he was in there, but he wasn't. That was a nice sister, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
When Dad came home, he looked for Dogger too. He searched in the shed and down the garden path with a flashlight, but Dogger was quite lost.
Oh no.
I know. Dave was very sad when he went to bed. Bella kindly lent him one of her teddies to go to sleep with, but it was not the same as Dogger. Dave kept waking up in the night and missing him. Oh dear. Will Dave be able to get Dogger back, do you think? Do you think he'll be able to find him?
Yeah.
The next day was Saturday, and they all went to the school summer fair. Oh, doesn't that look like fun?
Mm-hmm.
The playground was full of stands and sideshows.
What are sideshows?
Well, just different people doing different kinds of things like Lucky Dip, 50 cents a try. I guess they were digging around in the water for something. And flowers, toys, selling different things. Oh, and here's a ring toss. This is where you have some things on a table and people take a ring and they try to throw it and see if they can get it around one of the posts there.
Yeah, I heard about one where you throw a horseshoe.
Yeah, something like that. There was a fancy dress parade. Look at that. Have costumes. Doesn't that look like fun?
I like the robot and that and that.
That?
The bird.
The big bird? The big bird. Oh, yeah. It looks like Big Bird. I like the fairy. And I like the Japanese lady.
I like the fairy too.
Yeah, you've been a fairy, haven't you?
And I like the Japanese lady too.
That's right. Then there were games with an egg and spoon race. That's where you have to put an egg on a spoon and run and try to be first without dropping your egg. Does that look like fun?
But hard.
Yeah. A wheelbarrow race. Look at that. That looks like fun. Somebody holds your legs and you have to put your hands down on the ground and both of you have to go as fast as you can. And a father's race. Look at that. All the dads are running. Bella was very good at races. She won the three-legged race with her friend Barbara. Wouldn't you like to go in for a race? They asked Dave. But Dave didn't feel like racing. He was missing Dogger too much. Poor Dave. Then another very exciting thing happened to Bella. She won first prize in a raffle. It was a huge yellow teddy bear wearing a beautiful blue silk bow. He was almost as big as Dave.
It doesn't look like it's yellow. It looks like it's kind of an orangey brown.
Yeah, you're right. That's a very good description, Katie Belle. Dave didn't like that teddy at all. At that moment, he didn't like Bella much either because she kept on winning things. He went off on his own to look at the stands. One lady had a toy stand full of knitted ducks and cars and baby dolls and bonnets, and there at the very back behind a lot of other toys was, what do you think?
Dogger.
Dogger with a 50-cent tag on him. Now I wonder how that dog got there.
I think he left him at the fair and they found him and then they decided to sell him.
Yeah, they must not have known. Let's see. He was wearing a ticket saying 50 cents. There were a lot of people around the stand. Dave tried to explain to the lady that it was his dogger who had got lost and somehow been put on the stand by mistake. But she wasn't listening. Oh, look, he's trying to get her attention. He looked in his pocket. He had 10 cents, but that wasn't enough. He ran to find Mom and Dad to ask them to buy Dogger back at once. Dave went everywhere in the crowd, but he couldn't see Mom and Dad. He thought he was going to cry. At last, he found Bella by the cakes. When she heard about Dogger, she and Dave ran back to the toy stand as fast as they could. Oh boy, do you think she's going to get Dogger back for him?
Yeah.
Let's see. But something terrible had happened. Dogger had just been bought by a little girl. Oh no. She was already walking off with him. Dave began to, what do you think?
Cry.
Yep. Bella ran after her and tried to explain that Dogger really belonged to Dave and could they please buy him back. But the little girl said, no. She said that she had bought Dogger with her own money and she wanted him. She held onto him very tightly. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Dave cried and cried, and the little girl started to cry too. What would you do if you were that little girl?
Cry.
Do you think she should give back the doggy to Dave?
Yeah.
Would you give him back?
Yeah.
I bet you would. But out of the corner of her eye, she caught sight of Bella's big yellow teddy. She stopped crying and put out her hand to stroke his beautiful silk bow. Oh, wow. It's a good thing that Bella had that teddy bear, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
Then Bella did something very kind. Would you swap this teddy for my brother's dog? She asked. Right away, the little girl stopped crying and began to smile. She held out Dogger to Dave, took the big teddy instead, and went off with him in her arms. Then Dave smiled too. He hugged Dogger and he hugged Bella around the waist. Thank you, Bella, he said. Oh, wow. Wasn't that a wonderful thing?
Mm-hmm.
That is such a sweet thing for his sister to do, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
Because she really loves teddy bears, doesn't she?
Mm-hmm.
That night, Dave had Dogger in bed beside him. Bella was practicing somersaults. Will you miss that big teddy? Dave asked her. No, said Bella. I didn't really like him very much anyway. He was too big and his eyes were too staring. Anyway, if I had another teddy in my bed, there wouldn't be room for me. And they both went to sleep, happy as could be. The end. So, Dave had a big problem, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
What was his problem?
That he wanted he wanted his Dogger back.
That's right. First, he couldn't find the dog at all. And then when he did find the dog, he couldn't get him. And then Bella saved the day, didn't she?
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad Bella was there, and I'm glad she won that teddy bear.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see why I love that story?
Mm-hmm.
I thought you would love it too. So when your mom's reading you a story, or your daddy, because I know they read stories to you.
Every night.
And you can always ask, I know that somebody's going to have a problem. I wonder what the problem is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder how they're going to solve it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look to try to find out how they solve the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that fun?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, do you know where your special stuffed animal is that you were telling me about? No?
Either on my stuffed animal basket or my stuffed animal hamper.
Ah, okay. Let's see. Trying to see. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing. And if you know where it is, you can get it and show it to me. Or you can just show it to me the next time we read a story.
Okay.
Do you want to do that? So you said you built a mansion out of your castle over there?
Mm-hmm. And this big dollhouse that I got for Christmas.
I know, that is an amazing dollhouse. I can't wait to see it in real life. And I can't wait to see your Bella doggy in real life.
And I made this little hand towel.
Oh my goodness, you're already making things for your own dollhouse. That's what your mommy used to love to do when she was a little girl. You've seen some of the things she's made, haven't you? That is beautiful. It's kind of shiny.
It's sparkly.
It is sparkly. Well, I enjoyed reading a story with you. I hope we can do this a lot.
Me too. Happy birthday.
Thank you. It was a happy birthday. What I wanted for my birthday was a read a story with my Katie Belle. And I'm so glad I got to do that. So I think maybe next time we'll read this one. This is one of my very favorite books too.
Did you get your presents?
I did. I got my pretty little heart garland that y'all sent me. Did your mama show you the pictures? And then I got the pretty flowers today. And they're on my kitchen counter. And your mommy said there's something else coming too. We'll just have to wait and see what that is. I don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is either.
Good, because I might try to get you to tell me. Okay. Well, I love you, sweetie pie.
Love you.
See you next time. Mwah. The Lord bless you and keep you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Let's get together again soon.
Okay.
Okay. I'm signing off.
Mwah.
Mwah.